AOR is lost. Mission is Charlie Foxtrot.
Expired.
Yes, the hype train has left the station. Today, we'll be discussing Call of Duty Black Ops 4, the multiplayer. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Movement 6 and today we are going into the Call of Duty Black Ops 4 multiplayer. The reason for the multiplayer is I'm not a battle royale type of guy. I must say, to all credits, I've played it and it's really good. It's really fun. It's just not my cup of tea. So, in all fairness, if that's your cup of tea, more power to you, of course. But I'm going to dig into the multiplayer because that was always my Call of Duty, and I like the fast pace, in and out, quick matches, and having fun with friends in this environment. But in all fairness, again, the hype train has left the station, and even all those Call of Duty guys that maybe left the franchise and claimed never to have been paid by Activision are now all of a sudden returning to the franchise, and everybody is screaming how exceptionally good it is. Or is it? Well, in all fairness, yes, it is really good. Dear Treyarch, you finally got something in your hands that is actually quite good and can really make a difference again if you compare it to the last few years where we had this utter bullshit of Call of Duty World War II. We had Infinite Warfare, and in all fairness, Call of Duty Black Ops 3 was also a wall running double jump bullshit that the community actually didn't want. It did well, it was a fun game, but it was a sign of a declining state where Call of Duty was in. And now finally, dear Treyarch, don't mess this up. You finally got something that's actually quite good. Now, before we going into the critique I do have in this game, but it's critique from a good heart, because I like the Call of Duty franchise. I've grew up with this whole franchise. I've played it from the first game up until now, and I skipped a few. World War II I did buy, but I deinstalled it quite quickly. And Infinite Warfare I skipped completely. But now with Call of Duty Black Ops 4, we finally have something in our hands. Now, looking at the first critique I have was something that made me laugh when I started up the game. And looking at this, we're looking at the home screen of the multiplayer. What is this? It reminded me to an extent of the opening scene of Resident Evil 1 on the PlayStation 1, where the characters didn't really fit in with the background. You know what I mean? If you're old enough to have witnessed the PlayStation 1 Resident Evil 1 opening scene, it to some weird extent it reminded me, and I had a feeling that let's picture the office of Treyarch, right? And everybody was in a party modus, and everybody was happy and drinking wine and beer and celebrating that the game was finally done. It was done. The game went gold and it was up for sale. And a guy named Bob walked in, and Bob is the guy who cleans the office at Treyarch, right? And he was looking at the screen, and everybody was partying, and he was cleaning desk, and he looked at this screen and he said, "Guys, don't we need a home screen for the multiplayer?" And everybody was like, "What?" And Bob was like, "Uh-huh."
Bruh.
And you know what? Everybody was too drunk at Treyarch to make something. So they said, "Bob, you know what? You do that. You put a stamp on this, take this home and do something for us." And Bob has never got a laptop or a computer up close. So he went to Google Images, found an image of a hangar with tanks and vehicles, and he got a very early character model of the specialist. And they just combined it, put a stamp on it, and here we go. Here you got the home screen of the mate. In all fairness, I know it's fun and jokes, but come on. Come on. Don't let people like Bob do this. This is ugly. Just sheer freaking ugly. But okay, that's just just being me. I need things to be perfect here, and the game really looks good, and that's what I like about Triarch as well. The game is vibrant, it's full of color, and that's again a nice break with Call of Duty World War II, for example. That was grey and has a grey filter over it. This is colorful. This is great, and this is what I'm used to from Triarch. Now, getting into the first few points of criticisms here. Okay, there's an elephant in the room. Everybody's highly debating it. There is no single player. There is the Specialist HQ, but come on. That's just kidding around. So there is no single player. You get the Battle Royale, Blackout, you get zombies, and you get the multiplayer. To me, I'm more a multiplayer guy, and it depends on you, who you are, what you like. Okay, with friends, I really can imagine that the Blackout is really good, but we're gonna focus on the multiplayer right here. The first thing I want to discuss in this hype train is the broken corners. You see some clips running around left and right on YouTube, and with broken corners, I mean, if you hold a tight angle, let's say you look at a door somewhere, you hold that angle and you're camping a bit, okay, but if somebody jumps around that corner or slides around that corner, he will see you sooner than you will see him while you're holding that angle. The lag compensation in this game is absolutely, well, I wouldn't say shit, but it's not as good as you might hope for in a fast-paced game like Call of Duty. So that's something to really think about when you do hold an angle. The second of all, and that's something that is already highly debated left and right, is the time to kill. It's highly inconsistent. It's really inconsistent, and to me it's also too high. There's also a danger here, because I've been playing also with people who just were level 1, just bought the game, were jumping in, and there are a lot of people rage quitting, and because they can't seem to get a kill in the beginning. Because the weapons you get, come on, let's face it, you need to level up first. And on the second part, sometimes I've had it in more than one occasion. You were hitting somebody in the back for about 6-7 times. This guy has the time to make lunch, hand out the sandwiches to all his teammates, tie his shoes, light a cigarette, turn around, reload, say hi, give you a high five, and then shoot you in the face and you die. And that's not only inconsistent, it's sometimes also highly frustrating. So that time to kill needs to go down. It really needs to go down, because eventually you have a very small player base that is exceptionally good. I'm not one of them. I'm good, but I'm not exceptionally good. And that very small player base is dominating currently. And you have a huge player base. That's where Triarch needs to get the money from. If they're gonna leave the franchise because it's going to get frustrating, that's not what you want. But because that was always Call of Duty. If you're a mediocre or you're not as good player, no disrespect, you like the game but you're not a good player, then eventually you will get that score streaks, you will get a few kills, and eventually you can make a difference. So this time to kill, this needs to be adjusted. One aspect out of this I want to take out is the dogs. Dear fucking Triarch, come on, the dogs. I had a clip, I couldn't find it anymore, but somewhere in all those recorded Twitch streams and clips, I had one clip with a dog. I paused it, I transferred it to my studio, and I slowed it down. There was one dog I've hit about 12 times, and he didn't die. I think maybe he just needed one more bullet, but if this dog just gently licks your knee, you're dead. You're dead. So that's massively overpowered. That needs to go. And as a side note, as well as the guy with the shield, that's so OP. You can't kill this guy. Well, yes, you can with a score streak, or maybe with with the cluster grenades. But all in fairness, come on, there is he completely covers his body. He can shoot through the shield. So come on, come on. In that respect, the kill streaks, they're a bit too high to earn. I know there's a lot of debate going on, but it needs to be mentioned. You know, a UAV for about 850 points. Come on. Come on. If you with really good plays, you will hear gunships or choppers coming in, but it's always the same guys, you know. Occasionally UAV, RCXDs, but come on. This needs to go down. This needs to go down. The sound to me is also a problem. I like wearing my headphones, especially when I play Rainbow Six. You can really hear the footsteps, and sound is a critical factor. Now, I know with the fast-paced gameplay Call of Duty has, it's maybe a bit different, but it would really help, because it doesn't matter. You don't have to wear them. You just don't. There is no reason to wear them. I can hear my teammates, but I can't hear the enemy for some weird reason. So that really needs to be looked into, because there is no need. I just put my headphones off and use just my home cinema set for sound. What is annoying, and I had a few times, is that you can't stop the healing and the reload animation. You can't. I tried it. There were a few times that I was healing or reloading and somebody went to and reloading is something, sometimes you do that automatically. After a few kills you reload, or after a kill and you think it's second nature, right? But there usually are a few bullets in there, maybe 5 to 10. And when somebody comes around the corner, you want to start shooting immediately with those bullets still in that mag, or you want to stop the healing and you want to shoot. That can be done. You can't stop that animation. Absolutely not. The specialists on some occasions are a bit unbalanced. Few of those specialists earn their capabilities, which can be addressed with R1 quite quickly. The other ones take a bit more time. Some of them don't earn as a lot of points as the other ones, so that's a bit unbalanced. And don't get me wrong, I know that Call of Duty Black Ops, or any Call of Duty, maybe shines a bit with unbalanced aspects, but in all fairness, there are things way offline here, so that needs to be looked into. One of the final topics I really want to discuss is a point of critique, and the Triax see this as a positive way of giving critique to you guys, because I really like the game. It's addictive, it looks good, it flows good, but there are a few points that really need to be looked into, and one of those points is the freaking spawns. Jesus Christ. Sometimes, well, not sometimes, in more than one occasion, you will see yourself being trapped in an environment of the enemy, and you spawn there. I had it about 4 or 5 times in a row that I constantly spawned in the enemy's side. That is really horrible, and it flips quite quickly I think maybe sometimes 5-6 seconds, even in that ice break level, with all that where you got that submarine and the ship and the ice and the snow, and it flips quite quickly. So sometimes that can lead to unwanted situations. So there it goes. I think if you look at the main issue I have is the time to kill. But in all fairness, we finally have a Call of Duty that is worth playing and also worth giving critique on, right? Because Treyarch, you guys finally did it. We have a Call of Duty, despite the fact that I would love to see a single player. I like the single players. I'm one of those guys. I always played the single player. It was the only thing I liked from Call of Duty World War II, was the single player. It had its flaws, it had its shortcomings, it had its bullshit. Yes, we can go into that, but we're not going to do it now. But it was the only fun thing in that Call of Duty. So, do I recommend this game? Is it worth the hype? It is. It is worth the hype. Yes, finally we have a Call of Duty that's worth the hype. Is it worth the money? And that's also a point of critique here. You got 3 editions, the $60, the $100, and the $130, approximately. There is no need to buy the 60, because eventually you need to buy somewhere down the road, a package will be offered to you to buy the DLC. So the minimum you want to spend on this game is €100, $100. Because then you will have access to the DLC and some other nitty-gritty fine things. And the only difference with the $129 or $130 is that you get some extra CoD points, which is a reference to the fact that we will have supply drops. I don't believe the fact that the supply drops will be cosmetic only. So don't buy the $60 because eventually you will be handed a bill to pay for the DLC. You cannot buy certain packages like we used to. Now you need to buy the old DLC train up front, which is, well, if you calculate, it's €40, $40 approximately. And then you will get all the maps during this year and some extra tiny little things. So there's no need to buy the €60 because eventually the price you will be offered, and we all know Activision, will be higher than when you pay up front. So buy the €100, and if you've done that, don't go for the $130. That's the main message here. There's no reason to do that. And supply drops. I really hope it's not going to be a pay to win, because that will also ruin again this year this Call of Duty. So worth the hype? Definitely. Worth the money? I can't say that yet, because I've paid $40 up front for the DLC package. So let's see what's in there. I'm really looking forward to Nuketown, of course, as always with Triarch. But let's see what's going on. To me, for now, with its shortcomings, I will give a 7.5 out of 10 for this game. But there is potential to grow to an 8.5 and maybe a 9 if the points are addressed. For now, thank you very much for tuning into this channel. Give this video a like; it's highly appreciated, and go to the channel, subscribe, put on the notifications to stay up to date, peeps. For now, signing off. This was Movement 6 with Call of Duty Black Ops 4 multiplayer.